I am a happy boy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. And I am pretty happy, man. I am wearing the cloak of the fire rat, budget version. Um, because today should be a national holiday. Um, we uh, we got the first episode of Yashahime, Princess Half Demon today, and I wanted to talk about episode one. Hopefully I could do this every week. I don't want to spoil everything in the episode, but I'll talk about like kind of what I liked, some things I thought were kind of meh, um, and my overall thoughts like week by week. So I think in the future of these I might have like spoilers because I think the only people that are going to really want to watch a reaction to episode 3 and so on are people that have probably seen it. So if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it. Just take me at my word and say that it's good as a huge Inuyasha fan. Um, and just go watch it. If you haven't watched it, I don't know why the hell you're watching me. But if you did watch it, let's keep watching me, and we'll keep talking about this here. So this anime, I went into it with like fairly high expectations. I kind of had to, considering like it's the follow up to my favorite anime of all time, my very first anime, and I kind of knew that like its predecessor, like it wouldn't be necessarily like perfect, but I would hope that it would have like hit me with the nostalgia and everything, and it definitely did. I would say overall the greatest thing about this is that it almost puts me in that same position that I was watching the original series, where I was when I watch Inuyasha. I'm especially like my first like time viewing it. I was so like immersed in the world that like I just remember specifically watching episodes when I was younger, and then like you would go to bed and I have like stupid like fantasy dreams about being in feudal Japan, me, this American young boy who doesn't have any powers or anything. I wanted to travel in that world and be in that world, as terrifying as it is with demons eating humans and stuff all the time. Um, and it's been a while since I've really wanted to be in an anime's world. Like I love Vinland Saga. Do I want to be a Viking? Fuck no. Um, that seems terrifying. Which this could be terrifying too, but I love it. This hit a bunch of nostalgia points for me. This episode, did a good job, I think, of at least you know having the fan servicey moments along with the sort of stepping forward moments. And I want to talk about Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha for a moment. This is going to be our like our primary pro tags like going forward. Mostly with Toa, I would imagine. These are sort of the literally the descendants of people in the previous series. And I love that it's sort of like, I'd imagine this is why people like Boruto, especially like early on. It's just cool to see the next generation of the characters that you love. Like you want to see Inuyasha and Kagome's children. You want to see Sesshomaru and presumably Ren's, I guess, child. And you want to see Sango and Moroku's family, stuff like that. And this first episode, you got like a check mark on stuff, on like to all the above pretty much, and kind of established itself by covering some tracks in between, literally what came between the end of the final act and where we are today, by covering, I believe it was like a manga chapter that literally covered the time in between, and what happened. I think it was like 20 years. I think it's been 20 years since the end of the final act. And I think the story kind of starts with like we get Toa talking with some daimyo guy, and clearly like Toa, originally from had lived in our time, has knowledge of like our time. They find this like bike seat thing that was kind of cool, and they have this like this book thing, and they kind of see. I thought this was very interesting how we see the sort of the aspect of how like the time travel sort of aspect could affect this world, which is something that I kind of wish they touched on a little bit more in the original series. But I kind of get why they didn't, because I praise the show a lot for like being like a good monster of the week, and so it didn't really like delve too far into like the fact that one of the characters is from way in the future comparatively to everybody else. But Toa knows that she can't really like share too much like information or something, like, or alter certain things, because that could affect stuff like in the future and everything. So that was I think an interesting note. I would say like obviously in this episode we get like the most like sort of Toa. I don't get like a ton of these three characters. The latter two kind of just show up sort of toward the end and display sort of their personality. Setsuna being very calm and collected, that would make sense. And Moroha being very brash and very outgoing and very tough and in your face. And I can definitely see myself liking each one of these characters for different reasons. Puts me right back in that nostalgia point. One thing that I really love about Inuyasha is its cast, and I really love how almost every character is like kind of how I feel on like a particular day, like or just things that I admire about people, or things that like I wish I was stronger in this sense. I wish I was more like emotionally stable, like this character, or I wish I was more outgoing like this character. And I think we have a good blend here with these three characters, and I can't wait to see more of them. But the majority of this episode did cover, like I said, that chapter sort of like in between, where we see our old cast and crew, our old friends. We got Kagome, Inuyasha, and their sort of little story of fighting Roothead, which was this crazy looking demon that apparently Kikyo didn't like slay 100%, but sort of like sealed and it absorbs the nutrients of people. It's pretty brutal. Again, nostalgia points. The other thing I love about Inuyasha is it's pretty brutal with its demonic antagonists and stuff like that. And doesn't really sugarcoat when things are getting killed and decapitated and eaten. A lot of that. It was really cool to see the fan serviciness of like seeing the old cast, like seeing Moroku and Sango. Like we get like obviously I love Best Girl. I almost want to say Best Girl was the best part of this episode, but I would say it was the nostalgia factor. Best Girl is Best Girl. And I did notice that she was I'm pretty sure the first character to use like an actual attack, like accredited attack, when she throws the Haraikots, which is really cool. Which they didn't. I wish that they animated it a little better. You don't really get to see it that well. I thought that would have been cool, but we'll get to more on the animation in a moment. But yeah, I like seeing the cast. I like the fact that like Moroku cannot use, obviously he doesn't have his wind tunnel anymore, and that's a factor into his personality now, because he feels relatively weak, because it was, let's be honest, his kind of like cheat code in the past. He could get out of most situations because it was kind of OP, to be honest, and it was so OP that they kind of had to write in a whole bunch of poison shit that he couldn't absorb. But I like seeing them. I like seeing them and their kids. Their twin girls are adorable. I like the cliche that they talk in unison about like everything. We get a little like hint to Kikyo with when Kagome's talking to them and stuff like that. I do like seeing Inuyasha and Kagome as as this couple kind of thing, and she's still sort of on him about how he like treated like Kikyo versus her, and would be more open and honest to Kikyo versus compared to Kagome. So again, that nostalgia factor, just sort of beating that drum that Inuyasha fans love to hear. And I liked the action with Roothead here. He was a creepy villain, and I do like how we've sort of established, I think, a potential villain with the owl thing. Yotsume, I think his name is. I don't know if that's tied to Roothead. I don't know how that's going to play. Obviously, like 10 years after those events, with Towa, Setsuna, and Moroha, and how Roothead is connected to all of this. Not 100% just yet, but overall, I really, really liked this first episode. It was really awesome, story-wise. Presentation-wise, this is where I have a little bit of gripe. Obviously, music knocked it out of the park. Let's say that. The opening was pretty good. The endings, of course, it's Inuyasha, so I kind of like the ending a little better than the OP, which is kind of how I felt about the original series. And this was kind of the same. The OP, I think, is one that's going to grow on me. A lot of anime openings I'm not super into at first, and then I put them on repeat 3 or 4 weeks later. It's just kind of how I am. And this one is definitely the same. If I had a solid complaint about the episode, I would say animation wise, it didn't really blow me away, and I didn't go into it expecting Makoto Shinkai fucking levels of animation here. And by Sunrise, it looks. This is gonna sound harsh. It looks good enough. It doesn't look overwhelmingly great. And it's not something that you're wow, that really impressed me. It's not impressive, I guess. It's very boilerplate, standard B+ animation, I would say. And some of the characters faces kind of go off model at times. It's kind of weird. There's a sequence where Sango is, I think, on Hilala, and her face looks kind of weird in the shot that they did, and some characters ears look kind of odd in certain shots. But it's that doesn't detract a whole lot of it from me. For me personally, Inuyasha was never the most stellar looking show. It wasn't. It's not my top 10 visual spectrum pieces of all time, but it still looked decent enough. I liked it a lot. I am excited for the future. I cannot wait to see more Towa, Setsuna, and Moroha. And I'd like to know what has sort of happened in the meantime. We get a little bit. We get a little bit of, this is a cool gumbo. We got a little flavor of everybody. Rin was in there for a little bit. Sesshomaru, Jakin were in there for a little bit. Kohaku, none of my man Naraku, but that's, I guess, something that I'm gonna have to live with. Shippo is there. But yeah, what did you guys think about episode 1 of Yashahime? If you're a fan of the franchise as a whole, or are you new to it, jumping into this? Because I guess you sort of could, and they kind of tell you some of the tale here, or you could just I guess watch some kind of recap. Speaking of which, there is an awesome channel that covers Inuyasha stuff. I don't know the dude personally. I recently discovered him myself, and every video I've seen of him is very high quality and very, very cool. And that's Excel Beats. I'm going to link him below in the description. He doesn't need any help from me, really. The guy's at thousands, I think over 5K subs, or I might be downplaying that. The guy's really awesome, bottom line, and I really want to promote Inuyasha content on YouTube. I'd like to put out more of it myself. And he is, I would say, even more knowledgeable about the series than me. And I like a lot of his content. He's really cool. And yeah, he has this cool video about the basics of Inuyasha, which is very, very interesting. And you could probably just watch that video and then go into this, I guess. I would say that you're missing out on a pretty big experience of Inuyasha as a whole, because I do love it, but I'm kind of biased. So, as a sequel to my first anime ever and my favorite, How do I feel overall? I am excited. I am not let down, really. I'm going to try and keep myself as, kind of calm as I go into these episodes, but it's kind of hard to not be hype when you see a wind scar. But yeah, what did you guys think about this? Thank you to everybody that supports me on Patreon. I'll have a link to that in the description box as well if you want to join that. If you really like what I'm doing here, please hit that subscribe button. It's be really awesome to see this channel grow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Miasma, and I'll see you next time.